What is up, NPBF fans and coaches? My name is Jeff. I also go by PokePrimer, and I am the coach of the Rage Fist Annihilates and your head commissioner for NPBF. We are here for the Season 20 Week 3 recap. Again, to reiterate, you're going to be getting spammed with videos here because we have my computer died. My CPU was trash. It was gone. It was dead. So I was unable to record for the league for a couple weeks. But I'm here playing catch up now so that we can get ourselves caught up to current as best as possible. And then we can go ahead and get guests back on here for these going forward. But for now, we are stuck with just little old me as we go through these things. Now, another thing that was obviously affected by my computer going crap was my teams. So we'll start with my game. I can just get this one out of the way. Basically what happened was I spent the whole week working on teams for the various leagues that I am in, and then the computer crapped out, I believe, on a Thursday, which was very unfortunate. It crapped out that Thursday night, and since it crapped out, then I lost all my teams, so I had to get extensions for all of my games across all leagues and rebuild my teams for every single league, which was not ideal, obviously, not preferred, to say the least. So I had to kind of try to rebuild. Like, I had some sets that I had in mind off memory, some sets that I just could not remember, to say the least. So, kind of unfortunate, kind of sucks. It is what it is. So, prep, not exactly the best, not the best it could be, but, it is what it is. No excuses to be made. At the end of the day, the prep might not be perfect, but, it's all about how you play it. So, we'll see if my quick prep is good enough to take on CC here. CC brings the Iron Crown, the Sneasler, the Hisui and Zoroark, the Knackle Stack, the Rabombi, and the Flygon. I brought a Rocky Helmet Zapdos, a fully Spit F Assault Vest Donphan, Choice Scarf Arcanine Hisui, Heavy Duty Boots Furret with Tidy Up. And then we have the Banded Meowscarada and the physically defensive, very bulky Double Dance Terrapsychic Alcremie. So let's see if this team can pull out a win for me here. Hopefully it can. We'll see. It does get the sticky webs up right away. I went for the Poison Jab here. I Poison Jab turn 1 for a couple reasons, right? I didn't want to knock off immediately because it wasn't confirmed for sure that the thing in front of me was a Zoroark yet. Since I was so bulky, I calced it to be sure I was safe to click Poison Jab there. Because the Zoroark could not 2-hit KO me at all. It could not do so. Even Specs did not 2-hit KO my Donphan. So, Poison Jab would get the chip, it would reveal that it was Zoroark, it would get the damage on it, potentially get a poison on it as well, which would have been great. Would have been very, very good to get the poison on that thing. Then I could always know when the Zoroark was around. And then also I can just click the knockoff for free directly afterwards and kill it. Conversely, obviously, as it was indeed the Rabombi, the Poison Jab would do crazy damage, knock it down super low, and put it in range of being Rapid Spun immediately. So that was kind of something that I was thinking of. However, I decided not to Rapid Spin right away. I decided to just go straight for the knockoff. The reasoning was, since obviously I wasn't already staring down a Zoroark, that meant Zoroark could come in. So knockoff was my safest play to guarantee that to cover for the Zoroark trying to spin block me. Because obviously, the Zoroark spin blocking me would have really sucked. Granted, in hindsight, I should have rapid spun anyway, because webs were a huge problem for my team. And so if I had just rapid spun, gotten rid of them here, even if she did go ahead and bring in the Zoroark, I was not threatened by it in any way. It's like catching another switch in wasn't like a big deal. So I probably should have just rapid spun immediately. So we're going to see here, obviously, she goes ahead and Terra Ghosts here. I just forgot. I just forgot about it. I was hoping that she wouldn't, but she did right away. She wasn't wasting any time, which is smart. Very smart. So I go into Zapdos here. I'm just going to go for a Discharge. It does a lot of damage now that I have the Eviolite off of this thing. So I was able to get some really good damage off on this. Kind of 1v1ing it with Zapdos a little bit. Obviously, like, I am unfortunately unable to get a paralysis on this thing because of the Purifying Salt. But I'm wasting its recovers very efficiently, and like Sulk here doesn't do too much to this, so I can roost off the damage pretty well here. So I go for Air Cutter instead here, to kind of try to cover for maybe Flygon coming in, but also just like to not waste all my discharge PP. Plus Air Cutter was doing plenty of damage, so I wasn't like I wasn't losing out on that a lot. Crit there and Sulk here, not really that big of a deal. Discharge still does some good damage. Goes for the Curse there, which is just like super, super annoying. Like, it's such a good set. Such a very, very good set. And then she plays it really well here and gets the Flygon in for free on my Discharge. That was just a really good turn for CC there. I think I probably could have I think I had U-turn. Probably should have just U-turned on that turn. I did not actually. I had Roost and T-Wave. But it wouldn't have done much. So, reveals to be special, which is very good. Very interesting on the Flygon being special. Like, this is another reason why, like, not getting rid of the webs sooner is a huge problem. Because obviously, now, yeah, she's out of recovers, but, like, and that was a misplay. That was a huge misplay. That was a massive, massive misplay on my part. So, like, obviously, not rapid spinning on turn 2 was a misplay as in hindsight. Definitely should have just gone for the rapid spin and, like, knocked if the Zoroark did come in, like, and deal with it afterwards. Because of those webs, I was no longer able to outspeed and pressure the Knuckle Stack the way I should have been able to. Which I should have very thoroughly been able to pressure it. I should have been faster, and I did 35% to it. If I was still faster, it wouldn't have been able to come back in, and I would have been able to kill it. Because I would have been able to kill it. But it was able to recover and stall me out of some knockoffs. It goes for the Curse here, which was a good play on its part. Me going for the knockoff and killing it was the biggest misplay possible. Having the tidy up, it can't stop me from tidying up. It can't do anything about that. And then, like, okay, I just get a +1 for it. And the webs and rocks are gone for the game. Because, like, she can't bring in Rabombi on for it to get him back up. She could potentially get him back up later. But, like, it's a little bit sketchy. So, I'm just taking the curse damage. Sneasler's going to come in here. U-turn is enough to kill me, and that right there is probably nearly game, because, like, I'm going to struggle to get a rapid spin-off. This thing is clearly the Zoroark. I know it's the Zoroark because it hadn't taken any damage yet. So I go for the knockoff. I get rid of its choice specs, but it does live, and, yeah, now the webs are here forever. So my only play at this point in time is to set up with Alcremie. So go for the Calm Mind. I Terrasilize here so that I'm not weak to the Tachyon Cutter. This is very clearly like the specs. I'm like 99.9% sure this was a specs Iron Crown. So I get the Calm Minds up. It's not able to kill me, and I'm able to get some recovers going. And things are looking really good here, right? Things are looking really solid for me. I can recover up. I can keep setting up in front of this thing now that I'm at decent health. No big deal. Get another Calm Mind off. This should be very Calm Mind, recover, start getting acid armors right. No big deal. I should be able to set up, and I should be able to sweep from here. Very simply, right? Get my first acid armor off, because I'm taking, like, no damage anymore. And the crit. If that crit did not happen... That was a recover turn as well. If that crit did not happen, based upon what I saw from the rest of her team at that point, Specs being off of Zoroark, if me getting the acid armors up helped deal with Sneasler, and like Iron Crown was locked into Tachyon Cutter here. Like, if I did not get crit by Tachyon Cutter, which it's 2 hits every time, like it's 2 different chances to crit, so like the chance is obviously higher, but like without that crit, pretty sure Alcremie just wins this game. Alcremie has had horrible luck this season so far. In 2 appearances, it has gotten Parrot out of the game or crit out of the game in situations where it should have been able to set up and win. So, it is what it is. Like, crits happen in Pokemon. Obviously it sucks. Obviously I'm upset about it because I really want Alcremie to do well. But, like, what can you do? Like, I can't be upset at it. It's not like she summoned the crit. But she played for the crit. She had to do that. That was her only out at that point, and she got it. Simple as that. She played for the crit. She got the crit. And, you know, that put her in the scenario she's in now. So now, I go into Arcanine. I just go for the Flare Blitz. It doesn't do anything to the Flygon. So I have to go now into the Meowscarada, but I can't really do anything much here. I take 2 U-turns and I die. So like, now I can go into Arcanine. I guess I can go for an Outrage and take out the Flygon, but since I'm Scarfed, she just gets to go out into the Ribombee. I get to keep clicking Outrage, and there's nothing I can do about that, and she's just able to beat me down with some Moonblasts, and that's going to be GG's. Obviously, like, unfortunate. You know, like, the crit happened at all. Like, it really sucks that the crit happened, but, you know, what can you do? It's Pokemon, at the end of the day. Can't get too upset about it. So I won't. CC played an amazing game. Like, she played really, really well to keep those hazards up. I made some misplays in situations where I should have been able to get rid of them. I definitely threw hard on those turns, and she capitalized on it perfectly and kept them up and won the game because of it. So, good game to CC. Like, really, really well done. Solidly earned victory, honestly. I give it that. Solidly earned. Moving on. No, we don't want the dock yet. Wild that just happened. Just move this over here. It's fine. We have Stuart and the New Zealand Nibbles taking on Alan and the Lancaster Lycanrocs. Alan brings his Houndoom, his Darkspun, his Swampert, his Terrapagos, his Scizor, and the Salamence against Stuart's Pecharunt, Arcanine, Iron Valiant, Hisuian Electrode, the Gastrodon, and the Mandibuzz. Let's take a peek and see how this one pans out. I'm a big fan of Hisuian Electrode. It's probably one of my favorite Pokemon. Favorite Hisuian Pokemon, personally. I just think it's such a fun mon. Goes for the Power Gem here. Doesn't really do much, and he's able to break the Terra Shell with the Leech Seed. Very good play by Stuart to just kind of get that dealt with. Gets the Volt Switch off, keeps the momentum, gets the Arcanine in here against the Scizor, and then is able to predict the Darkspun and gets the Pecharunt in. Very good stuff. Gets a nasty plot off with the Pecharunt. Goes for the Hex. Does not kill the Scizor, but the Colbur Berry is going to allow Pecharunt to kind of chew that hit up and take it out with a follow-up Hex. Very good stuff from Stuart so far. This thing's going to be able to recover up, but takes a crap ton of damage from the Swampert here. I assume it's probably like a very offensive Swampert. Gets the flip turn off. Big damage on the Mandibuzz as well. Very, very good stuff. I think, yeah, that's very good strong. Missing the Toxic on the Darkspun is huge. Allowing it to get off that free play rough. Get some good damage going. And then we're going to see the Houndoom come in against the Arcanine here. Not a favorable matchup. We're going to see a swap into the Salamence here. As we see the Gastrodon come in, as the Salamence goes for a sub. Very, very good stuff. We're going to see the Dragon Dance come off here. Ice Beam from the Gastrodon. Is this Dragon Dance going to be enough? It is nowhere close. It is a very physically defensive Gastrodon. Dragon Claw ticking the Rocky Helmet, and the Ice Beam is going to take it out. We see the Terra Fairy come out from the Houndoom here as it gets a nasty plot up, which is very, very good. Terra Blast comes out and takes out the Gastro, and we're going to see the Booster Energy giving the speed boost to the Iron Valiant, and Moonblast is going to be enough to take it out. CC is going to be able to take out the Terapagos here without the Terra Shell. Very unfortunate. So we have a mixed Iron Valiant here. Player off misses on the Arcanine. I don't think that's that huge of a deal because of the Intimidate and the Resist. It's not going to do much. I don't think that this Arcanine's going to be able to do much to this thing either. Body Press comes out on the Pecharunt switch, so very unfortunate that the unable to do anything to that Pecharunt, but player off only does 6%, so it wouldn't have done anything anyway. I think Pecharunt probably can win this from here. Gets a nasty plot off here. Not going to take any chances. It knows the Swampert kills it. Earthquake comes out. Has to go for the Earthquake there. And then the Mandibuzz is able to roost up in front of the Swampert. Goes for the Ice Punch. Doesn't do much because of the roost. It's going to be show to be Lumberry and get off a flip turn here. Darkspawn's going to come in here. And so we're probably clicking Play Rough here. Pecharunt just kind of hard walls this thing. This is going to be like a kind of a tough situation for sure either way. Pecharunt hard walling the Darkspawn means it can kind of come in safely against it every time. Kind of same situation with Mandibuzz kind of walling the Swampert a bit. The Toxic and the misplay with going for the Ice Punch allowed Pecharunt to be able to deal with the Swampert there. Very good. Very well played by Stewart to kind of just stay in there and make that work. You know, I guess he made the call that the Ice Punch was going to come out, predicting the Mandibuzz to come in like it had been, which makes a lot of sense. And he played around that really, really well. Played a really, really good game. And Pecharunt put in a crazy amount of work. Pecharunt's such a good Pokemon. I actually, I'll admit, I talked some crap about this Pokemon before it became officially available for use, but man, I am loving Pecharunt. I am using Pecharunt in another league. It is absolutely gas. Such a fun mon. Absolutely good. So good. So good. Kind of broken. But that is going to be it for this one. We move on to see Anthony and the Windy City Bolt Strikers taking on Jesse and the J-Dog Jolteons. Jesse's bringing, once again, the Manual Sun-looking team with the Walking Wake, Tornadus, Deoxys Defense, the Slitherwing, Leafeon, and the Heatran, taking on the Sun, the Sand Core of Titar Excadrill plus Arboliva, Pheasantipity, Tornadus Therian, and Latios for Anthony. Let's see how this one plays out. A bit of a weather war going to be going on here. We see the Tornadus lead against the Heatran and blocking out the Stealth Rocks with the Taunt. Very good start. We're going to see a Magma Storm come onto this T-Tar coming in here. T-Tar going to be applying a little bit of pressure here to the Heatran. Takes a good chunk from the Flash Cannon as it gets its Stealth Rocks up. Opts not to go for the rocks. Opts to go ahead and go for the Flash Cannon instead, allowing the T-Tar to go down there. So very heavily limiting the turns. Excadrill is going to have Sand, which kind of sucks for Drill, but it's going to do its best, I'm sure. We see the Sunny Day come out here as the Rapid Spin is going to pop off for Excadrill. Good damage on the Tornadus. Going to Rapid Spin again. Very risky because Tornadus can pack the Heat Wave. If he had gone for a Heat Wave, probably would have taken out the Drill there. We're going to see a special attack buff on the Walking Wake this time, as we're going to then see the Earthquake do some good damage to the Wake. I guess he just kind of accepted that the boy was going down, so he went for the kill there. He went for the damage there and allowed Excadrill to drop. It's a very, very bulky Pheasantipity, tanking that Hydro Steam, being able to take it out with the Moonblast follow-up. We're going to see an Acid Spray. Acid Spray is such a good bring. loses its Black Sludge there, but Acid Spray is going to apply a lot of pressure. As we see the Yawn on the Roost, very good play by Jesse to kind of pressure the Arboliva to leave, or the Pheasantipity to leave. Wish goes up here, as we see a knockoff on the Terra Fairy Arboliva, losing its Citrus Berry. I guess he expected him to switch or Terra there. The Terra Fairy Alluring Voice does so much damage. Oh, man. That was good damage. We're going to see the Pheasantipity come in here, as well as the Deoxys. We're going to see the Acid Spray. It's such a good bring from Anthony, because, like, no matter what he does, he's going to constantly be in a negative situation whenever that Acid Spray comes out. Torn's going to come in here on a Flame Charge from the Slitherwing. Very, very good play from Jesse, allowing that thing to click a Wild Charge, but Torn is just too bulky. Bleak Windstorm lands and takes out the Slitherwing. Deoxys is going to come in here, get taunted because it's just so bulky. He's not able to go for the Calm Mind anymore. Leafeon's going to die to the rocks, which is, oh, wow. Sacks itself to the rocks. We're going to see the Tailwind go off here as Weather Ball comes out from the Tornadus. Basic Weather Ball getting a kill here. Calm Mind goes off. I'm surprised not to see the taunt. Or was I actually surprised that... No, the Tailwind allowed him to outspeed, so the taunt was able to come off after. Very, very good stuff. It has the stored power. It's not going to be doing too much because he's not too particularly boosted. Now with the Acid Spray, stored power is going to be doing nothing. I wonder if this is probably like a weakness policy Deoxys set. I assume that's probably the case. But we're able to take it out with those Acid Sprays, and Anthony's able to pick up a really solid 3-0 victory. But what a fun game that was, back and forth. A lot of really fun sets came through. A lot of things. A lot of really interesting plays took place. They kind of kept swinging the momentum back and forth. It really felt like it could go either way for a bit there, but overall, I think Anthony held the momentum for longer in the game, and that Acid Spray on the Pheasantipity applied so much pressure to Jesse's entire team that there's really not much you can do to stop it. So very, very well played by Anthony, picking up a solid win there. Moving on, let's see what we got next. We have Alex and the Greenwich Guillotines taking on Devin and the Shelley Vrooms. They always have their banter back and forth, so very interesting to see how this one plays out. We see the Great Tusk, the Raging Bolt, the Screamtail, Venusaur, Ninetales, and Avalugg from Devin, as Alex decides to bring the Pixie Squad with Mew, Manaphy, and Shaman, alongside his Sylveon, the staple for his team, the Driftblim, and Gurfy. So very, very solid, fun-looking matchup. Obviously, this Sun team is very, very scary. We'll see how Alex is prepped to deal with it. We see the Mew lead here against the Raging Bolt, and we're going to see a Calm Mind immediately out the gate. Goes for the Discharge. Does not get the Para. Calm Mind again. This is looking scary. This is a scary start. Iron Defense on the Mew as he Volt Switches out into the Screamtail. Draining Kiss from the Mew gets a good little bit of chunk back of health. The Thunder Wave misses. That's kind of big. That is kind of big. We're going to see another Calm Mind come off here. The Thunder Wave does land, but the Synchronize is going to spread that Para back over to the Screamtail as well. We're going to see the Raging Bolt come back in here. We're going to see another Calm Mind from Mew. We're now at +4 Calm Minds with an Iron Defense up. Draining Kiss does half and brings Mew back to full. Draco does only 26%. Oh, man. Basically has to beg for a crit at this point. It's thoroughly in crit begging territory. We got an Iron Defense up here on the Mew. We're going to see another Calm Mind. I assume he's going to go probably all the way to +6 at this point. He has no reason not to. The Screamtail can't do much to him anyway to stop it. Draining Kiss is going to do 30%. Nothing too crazy, but it's still good damage. We're going to see the Wish go out into the Raging Bolt, but it's going to do no damage, and now he's up to +6 on defense as well. It's 100%. This is a get a crit and win game for... Get a crit and survive game for Devin. Not so much get a crit and win, but he needs a crit to survive. This Mew is crazy. This Mew is nuts. He's getting a lot of full paras, but like the Draining Kiss immediately like invalidated everything he was doing. Like the leftover, like he's not even doing enough damage for leftovers to not heal it off. And Draining Kiss is just going to take out the Raging Bolt here. I think that this feels like a straight up sweep. I don't know if there's anything else that can be done here. I'm going to see this def boost on the Screamtail, but it does not matter. The resisted stored power sitting at, how much damage is that? That's 20 plus 20 for every single boost. So that's going to be, 140, 260, 380 power, stab stored power. No, just nothing could stop that. This game is thoroughly over without a crit at this point. You need to crit here. Nope, no crit for the Headlong Rush. We're gonna see a Draining Kiss come out and just invalidate Great Tusk's existence. It did nothing here. Sludge Bomb can't get a poison because of the para. Stored power takes out the Venusaur. And I think that this is just all but over here. Stored power is going to wipe out the Avalugg, and Ninetales is not going to be able to do enough. Even if it was to somehow crit here, I don't even think it would have KO'd. And Stored power is still going to be able to take out the Ninetales. What a game. Mew looked good in this matchup. It set itself up. It knew what it needed to do, and it absolutely succeeded. It completely clean the clocks of the Vrooms here. Absolutely shut them down. Amazingly done. Nicely done, Alex. You played this perfect. Devin, I'm sure you're fine. You're not someone to get down after a loss, so you got this, bud. You still have a really, really scary, strong team, so I'm sure you're going to bounce back perfectly fine. But great game, Alex. You've been playing crazy this season, so really, really well done. No notes here. You did perfect. On to the next one. We have Brittany and the Baldwin Baxcaliburs taking on Mac and his Tennessee Tapus. We have the Clodsire, the Hydrapple, the Enamorous Therian, the Uxie, the Blastoise, and the Zebstrika here against the Meganium, Haxorus, Sandaconda, Empoleon, the Dunsparce, and the Toxtricity. Very, very good stuff here. Very, very solid looking team here. Mac was able to bring a lot of fresh faces on his second match back. Very, very cool stuff. Very interested to see if how Brittany will fare against him upon his return. Let's see how this matchup plays. We see the Hydrapple lead against the Meganium. Meganium is just going to go straight for a knockoff. I didn't even know Meganium had knockoff to get rid of the Assault Vest on the Hydrapple. Amazing timing for the light screen to come up. Does get the all-out boosted Fickle Beam because of the light screen. It's not going to be able to kill. A Fickle Beam does get the all-out, but even with the all-out SD on the Haxorus, it's able to live that. Iron Head does a crazy amount to the Enamorous. Does not get the flinch, though, so we're going to see the Moonblast take out the Haxorus here. Toxtricity is going to come in, immediately threaten that Enamorous. Go straight for the Boom Burst, though, to catch the Clodsire on switch-in. Very good stuff. Clodsire just going to go straight for an Earthquake to try and take that thing out. Brittany is up at this point. She's up 6-4, but it's dicey. Gets the Rapid Spin off. Gets rid of those rocks immediately. They'll get that speed boost. Does get paralyzed with the Glare. Goes for the Hydro Pump. Does nothing to the Dunsparce. Wow, that's a chunky boy. And we're going to see... Oh, no, are we doing this? Are we really doing this, Mac? No, we're doing this. Going for the headbutt flinches. The Serene Grace headbutt flinches are just coming out. She's not going to deal with that, so she's going to switch out into the Uxie here. Do not blame her. That is a lot to deal with. And the Glare comes out, and here we go again. Rocks come up. She's just going to switch. I think she's just sacking off. Oh, he goes for the bite on this one. Is faster, though. Gets the headbutt off and is able to take out the Enamorous. You see flying Terra Blast from the Zebstrika. Scary face. This is... Oh, that's gross, Mac. That is so gross, bro. What are you doing, buddy? Now he glares the Zebstrika. Now it's just chalked, man. That's just chalked. You're just able to click headbutt or bite depending on the mon. Get the flinches. Oh, this is gross, bro. This is gross. Oh, no. Oh, Mac, you brought this? The Zebstrika will still outspeed, though. So, swapping out here into the Empoleon was kind of smart. Knew the Terra Blast was coming out. Get the flip turn off, and we're going to go right back. Oh, no, we're going to go on to Toxtricity here. All right. We're not going back into the Dunsparce to do shenanigans. Got it. Overdrive is going to take out Blastoise. Perfectly makes sense here. Uxie is going to come in. We're not going to risk the Toxtricity. We're going to go straight out to Empoleon. See the Future Sight get set up here. Knock off into the Uxie. We're going to get rid of Light Clay. As we do see the Reflect come up. Getting rid of the Light Clay right before the Reflect gets set up. Very huge. Empoleon's just going to be able to roost here in front of this thing and just go for the flip turn. As we see Sandaconda come in here. Future Sight gets set up once again. See Hydrapple come in on this thing. Hydrapple looks very threatening for this current situation. Gets a Fickle Beam off. Not the full power one, but we're going to see the Fickle Beam and the Future Sight not do too much damage. We're going to see Giga Drain do a decent chunk to the Empoleon. We're going to see the knockoff here, but we've already lost the Assault Vest on this thing. Earth Power gets some good damage off. Now we're getting the damage we need to see on this Empoleon. Earth Power is just doing what it needs to do. We're going to see the flip turn here. He's not going to try to play some Roost games here. We're going to see in Earth Power into the Sandaconda here. Does a good chunk of damage. Glare obviously makes sense here, and we're going to see the full para. That's unfortunate. I assume that it was a Giga Drain coming out there. No, it goes to the Fickle Beam. Very interested to see why it wasn't a Giga Drain. I feel like Giga Drain would have been better there to get the health back. Would have gotten a lot more health back if you Giga Drained right away there, I think. Brittany's definitely like something to look at. But now we're in just the situation of the Dunsparce is faster than 2 out of 3 to your guys and can just flinch them to death. And like there's not much she can do about it. Has to go to Zebstrika here. Gonna see the Supercell Slam here. Smart play. Taking out the Empoleon. Tox is gonna come in here. We see the Boom Burst come out. Able to take out the Zebstrika, and Boom Burst is enough to actually take out the no longer Assault Vested. But really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I mean, obviously, Mac, you're gross for this. Like, this set, Headbutt, Glare, Bite, Scary Face, that's disgusting. That's actually disgusting. I can't believe you would do something like this. You are an awful human. You're an awful human being, and you should feel bad about yourself. But also, it's kind of fire. Brittany is still having a tough time so far, unfortunately. But she's still new, so, you know, obviously there's always a learning curve to this. This game is not exactly easy to just pick up and play, so best of luck to you going forward, Brittany. I wish you all the best. I'm sure you will pick up some wins, hopefully along the lines in the future. Moving on, we are going to take a look at Rennie and the New York Dialgas taking on Anders and the Ayrshire Scythers. We see Anders bringing the Latias, the Ursaluna Blood Moon, the Skeledirge, the Vikavolt, the Cleavor, and the Slowking against Rennie's Dragapult, Rhydon, Florges, Iron Shreds, Keldeo, and the Rotom Heat. Let's pop in and see what takes place. Dragapult out front against the Slowking. Gets to have that immediate Shadow Ball damage. Sheathe the Citrus Berry on the Slowking, and an Ice Beam comes out. Obviously, that looks very specs. He gets a free switch into his Blood Moon, which is perfectly fine. I assume we're going to see the Blood Moon. Yep, that's going to do absurd damage to Florges. Jesus! Protector actually is more advantageous to... Yeah, because that allows him to be able to just go for the Blood Moon again. That Protector I think was a misplay from Rennie. Should have just gone for the damage on the Ursaluna. But we see the Surf come out from Dragapult. Very good play. Being able to take out the Ursaluna immediately. Latias gets a Calm Mind off. That's scary against the Rotom. We're going to see the Mist Ball. Gets a KO with the Mist Ball. Very, very cool. Draco Meteor... Even through the +1? Jesus Christ, Dragapult's too strong. That is so crazy. Keldeo comes in, gets burned by the Skeledirge. Not that big of a deal because it's a special attacker. And should threaten out the Skeledirge. We're going to see the flip turn. Very good play by Rennie, predicting the Slowking to come in. And now, I mean, we just see Shadow Ball's kind of free here. There's nothing that Anders can do about it. He does get the Spit F drop. It would not have mattered because the Shadow Ball did already show that it did well more than enough to 2-hit KO the Vikavolt through Citrus. See the Night Slash on the incoming Keldeo. Gets the Justified boost. Doesn't really matter. Goes for a Surf here. Gets some decent chip on the Slowking, but we're going to see Treads come in on a Future Sight getting set up. We see the Earthquake and the Chilly Reception here just to get in the Cleavor. I don't know what Cleavor's doing here. Cleavor's going to go for a U-turn. Get Slowking back in. We see the Iron Head get a little bit of chip on the Slowking. Future Sight does a lot of damage. That is a crazy amount of damage. And we see Cleavor come back in here on an Earthquake. So much damage. So much damage. Stone Axe here gets the Rock set up. I don't really think that that's going to do much here at this point in the game, but it's good chip damage. We see the Slowking come back here. Earthquake does a lot. He's going to be able to take out the Treads with the Scald. But I think at this point, it's just going to be Dragapult, click Shadow Ball twice and win, right? Yeah. There's just not really much else that Anders can do. This Specs Dragapult just kind of like ran a train on his team. Ooh! Okay. Wow. Oh, wow. Pult is so bulky. Pult has like just enough natural bulk that it's annoying for a mon that's so strong offensively. Like, Jesus. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Pult just kind of absolutely dominated this matchup. Really just beat down on Anders' team. And there's not really much you can do about it. I mean, Pult's just that good of a mon. It's one of there's a reason why this mon goes so early in drafts always, because it's just that good of a Pokemon. And Rennie played it really, really well. He preserved it perfectly. He kept applying the offensive pressure with it, and then look what happened. It absolutely ripped through Anders' team. Really, really well played. Nicely done, bud. Anders, wishing you the best of luck, buddy. I'm sure you'll be able to bounce back. Hopefully going forward. You got this. Man, what a game. Moving on, we have David and the Denver Dondozos taking on Gavino and the Armenian Armarouges. Gav has the other Ursaluna, the Rotom Frost, the Milotic, the Dusclops, the Corviknight, and the Chenpao against the Araquanid, Ninetales Alola, Indeedee, Tinglu, Magneton, and Goldango. Very interested to see how this one plays out. We see, the immediate lead with the Magneton, but might not turn out to be Magnepool, or he shed shell on Corviknight. Two very interesting things. Goes for the Willow here, but we see the Water Bubble blocking the burn there. Very good stuff. As we see the webs go up. Dragon Tail on the incoming Magneton. We do see this bring in the Indeedee. He's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Does a decent little bit of chip, but we see the Mirror Coat doing a lot more than chip. Ninetales is going to come in here, as I assume, on a Dragon Tail, actually. Very interesting, okay. Aurora Veil goes up as the Melodic goes for the Recover, keeping itself healthy. We're going to see the Corviknight come in here on the Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot Ninetales has put in a lot of work for David so far this season, and it seems to be the case here once again. You see the Light Clay on this thing for that Aurora Veil. He gets the Freeze on the Dusclops. That is humongous. That is a humongous freeze, allowing it to get another Nasty Plot off. Allowing the allowing the kill on the Dusclops. Yeah, Ninetales is going to be able to run through the rest of this team, I think. I don't really know if there's anything that Gav can do. The Blizzard comes out, is actually a KO the Ninetales, actually. The Moonblast misses out on the Rotom. But I feel like this is a foregone conclusion. Expanding Force does a crazy amount to Ursaluna, but we're going to be able to knock out that Indeedee here. Magneton's going to come back in, gets Drain Punched for a little bit of health, but we're going to see that Terra Fight, Terra Blast take out the Ursaluna here, and that just leaves a Corviknight to Brave Bird, miss out on the KO, unfortunately, probably because of the Eviolite, and then die to the Thunderbolt. Yeah, I mean, that freeze was definitely huge. I think David had the momentum at that point in time in the game. Yeah, he very much had like a solid handle in the game the whole time. I mean, Goldango didn't, and Tinglu didn't even have to touch the field. So like I think that he just played a really, really solid game here. Outplayed Gav a little bit here and there, and that freeze just kind of sealed the deal, I think. Completely, like, screwed the game for Gav, period. Like, there was no shot of him coming back from that. Moving on to our last game, we have Jason and the Adelaide Arbolivas taking on Liam with his new team on the My Hero Melodics. Liam bringing a whole bunch of new guys. We see the Iron Moth, the Hisuian Samurott, the Chansey, the Skarmory, the Baxcalibur, and the Hisuian Avalugg taking on the Gliscor, Iron Bundle, the Noivern, Jirachi, Virizion, and the Primarina. Let's see how this new team fares for Liam this week. Obviously, he came into this week 0-2, looking to hopefully pick up something. Chansey is just going to hard wall this Iron Bundle. Like, Bundle just does nothing to it. We're going to see the Thunder Wave come out into the Gliscor. Gliscor being able to come in here for free, get its toxic, its poison heal activated, and goes for the knockoff to get rid of the boots on the Avalugg. Very good stuff so far. See the Terra Ghost on the Avalugg as the Ice Spinner comes out. Does not too much damage to the Primarina, but Primarina's going to fire off a Surf. Again, doing no damage to Chansey. We're going to see the flip turn, and I assume this is going to be a soft boil right back to full for the Chansey. Not taking any chances against the Jirachi. We're going to see the Trick come out here, actually, taking the Rocky Helmet and giving a Scarf to the Skarmory. We're going to U-turn out now. Obviously, we know it's Scarfed. Very good play, though, by Jason to get rid of that Rocky Helmet. Gets the Defog immediately. And out into the Gliscor on the Thunder Wave. Premier is going to double in here, predicting something else to come in, being the Avalugg. And I assume this is probably going to be a Moonblast. Yeah, Moonblast, okay. Probably should have been a flip turn there. Obviously, I don't think Avalugg was ever staying in on that situation. We do see the Thunder Wave onto the Virizion here. Very unfortunate. Close combat does come out into the Avalugg. Now acting as a perfect wall combo with the Chansey and the Skarmory. That defensive combination is just too strong. We do see the Taunt come out here from the bundle. Very, very good bring on Jason's part. I actually did not know that Iron Bundle had Taunt. That's a very, very good bring. The Rocky Helmet, now that it was stolen, coming into play against the Chansey, so being able to chip that Chansey down real low. Surf doing a good chunk of damage here. Moonblast should be able to pick up the kill, and Chansey does go down, so the defensive core has been broken. Now his special offense is actually looking really strong here. Does get the booster energy off, gets the speed boost, and the Kevia Berry pops on the Primarina, allowing it to tank that, and Surf knocks down the Iron Moth very low. Virizion packs the Vacuum Wave priority to pick off the Iron Moth. Very good stuff. Baxcalibur's going to be able to come in here and go for the Icicle Spear, take out the Virizion, immediately threatened by the Jirachi. Goes for the Iron Head here into the U-turn. Nothing too crazy. Not going to be able to break through that Avalugg. Earthquake gets a crit. I don't know if that mattered on the Primarina. It might not have. I don't know what the spreads were, but very, very strong crit there. Not ideal. Bundle's going to be able to immediately pounce right back and take out the Skarmory. Samurott looking very threatening here. Goes for a Ceaseless Edge. Gets a crit Ceaseless Edge. That is a big crit. Big, big crit on the Gliscor, putting it in a very tough position, especially if it no longer has Roost. Going to be tough here. I wonder if he packs the Protect. I assume probably not. We have not seen all of his moves, but he's not going to go for anything like that anyway. He's just going to be able to get up all 3 layers of spikes. We do see that it is a Choice Scarf Samurott here. We're going to see the U-turn. Miss out on the KO, unfortunately. But the Toxic's going to be able to take it out, so now he has the momentum to kind of plan out what he wants to go for in front of this Iron Bundle. Goes straight for a Scale Shot instead of setting up like a DD, but I assume this is probably going to be loaded dice on the Baxcalibur. That makes a lot of sense to me. We're going to see the spikes do a lot of damage to Jirachi here. Earthquake is going to be able to take it out. And with that speed boost, I assume that's probably going to be, yep, there. We do see the loaded dice. It's going to be more than enough to allow that caliber to clean up this game. Liam picking up his first win of the season with this brand new team. He tried full stall. It just did not work. And swapped out his strategy, and here we are, seeing Liam pick up a really solid win here. Very well done by Liam. Jason played it really, really well, but it was a really tough matchup here for sure. We get to see kind of why, like, Gliscor no longer having Roost is really, really tough for it. Obviously, like, the crit was kind of sucky. Very unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully that, you know, didn't matter too much, but even still, very, very tough for him to deal with. Yeah, big win for Liam coming out of the slump, and hopefully this won't be his last. But really good games, guys, and let's move on and take a look at what is coming for week number 4. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, these are our matchups for week number 4. Starting things off, we have Jason and the Adelaide Arbolibas taking on David and the Denver Dondozos. David has been an absolute monster so far this season. Jason kind of in a little bit of a rut, kind of having a tough time here so far. Kind of had a 50-50 season so far. Will he be able to pull another 50-50 and pull out a win against this dominant force that is David right now? Or is David going to continue his winning ways? We shall see how that one pans out. Then we have Gavin, the Armenian Armor Rouges, taking on Liam and the My Hero Melodics. Liam made all those changes to his team, swapped some things around, and is looking very, very threatening here for sure. Will Gav be able to stunt this, you know, stop him before he gets the momentum going, or is Liam going to be able to start going on a tear now of his own? We'll just have to see and find out. We have Anders and the Ayrshire Scythers taking on CC and the Saratoga Snoms. CC coming off of a big win against myself the prior week. Anders having a tough season so far. Hasn't been able to really get the ball rolling too much. But will he be able to pick up a big win here, be able to get some momentum going for himself, or will CC keep the winning ways rolling? We have Brittany and the Baldwin Backscalers taking on Jesse and the J-Dog Jolteons. Jesse's had a really solid season so far. His team is very interesting, a little bit unorthodox, but it has been working really well for him so far. So I'm very intrigued to see if it continues going that way. Brittany has had a very, very tough time so far, kind of getting the hang of things. She's been kind of struggling to get rolling here in main league. Hopefully she'll be able to, get something going here soon. Wishing her nothing but the best. Obviously, it's tough coming up from D-League into main league. Sometimes transition's tough. Maybe she'll be able to pick up a win here against Jesse and find a way around his Manual Sun team. We'll just have to see. Next up, we have Alex versus Stuart. The Greenwich Guillotines versus the New Zealand Nimbles. Stuart has had a very, very great season so far. Some really, really dominating wins this season for sure. Same with Alex. Alex is just coming off of a massive 6-0 win over Devin, which is an incredible performance. Absolutely incredible match. He just played it perfectly. He saw an opening and he just completely ran for it. Amazingly done. Will he be able to do that against Stewart, or will he be able to continue his winning ways? We'll just have to find out. I'm very intrigued by this one for sure. This one of the bigger threats, I think, to Alex so far, so we'll see how he fares. Then we have Alan and the Lancaster Lycanrocs taking on Devin and the Shelley Vrooms. Devin coming off of a massive 6-0 loss. Very, very unfortunate for him. Going to be trying to bounce back from that. Alan also coming off of a bit of a losing streak, having a bit of a tough couple of weeks there. So not particularly ideal. We'll have to see which one of these two will be able to bounce back on this one and pick up a little bit of momentum, hopefully, that they can leverage moving forward. Next up, we have one of the age-old rivalries, I guess, if you want to call it that, of NPBF. We have myself and the Rage Fist and Island taking on Rennie and the New York Dialgas. We have had some legendary clashes in this league, back and forth. one of our most legendary, which has now been unfortunately lost to time because of the Showdown server crash, was a match that ended off being 0-0 at the end, where he was able to kill my last Mon, but his, I believe, Mega Charizard died to recoil. So it ended up being a 0-0 win for him. An amazing game from way back in the day. Probably from one of the first seasons he was around. Just an insanely good game. I believe it was a Gen 7 season, which was, it was just so good. So good. And we always had really good games. So I'm hoping that this one will be no different. I always love playing Rennie. Rennie is one of my best friends in this league. He's such a cool dude. So I'm really looking forward to this one, for sure. Last but not least, we have Anthony and the Windy City Bold Strikers taking on Mac and the Tennessee Tapus. There was a bit of a goof on this one. You'll see, I'll make it abundantly clear come next week. So Anthony put in some changes to his team on the Discord, but he had not declared his Terra captains yet. So the changes to his team will be active for this matchup. However, because he did not declare his Terra captains, and Mac had already prepped by the time he did declare them later on in the week, it was determined that he would not be able to utilize his Terra at all in this matchup to kind of keep it fair for Mac. So Anthony is going into this one with a bit of a handicap, not having access to Terra, which is going to be interesting to see if that will hinder him or not in this one. But that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now we are caught up for Main League. I have to go start recording the D-League ones as well and get the party rolling with those. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, hopefully we won't have any more delays going forward for the league content. I'm very excited to be able to bring it back to you guys now that I have a computer again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no more issues with it going forward. But, yeah, till next time, my name is Jeff. I also go by PokePrimer, and I am the head commissioner here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!